So why have you come back then to what remains of the Bristol Old Vic, to this, to the suspension?
Well, because I started here and because I've had many happy years working here. I worked here when Andy Have was artistic director and I was writer in residence. And it feels like being home. When Dick became exec chair and spoke to me about writing a play, everything he was saying was exactly what I'd been thinking about the theatre, you know, how important writing was, how good plays should be at the heart of it, and mostly how important it was to have a theatre that's called the Bristol Old Vic, to be about Bristol, you know, about the city and the people and the surrounding regions. And, you know, I've probably made a conscious choice to stay in Bristol because I love it and I want the theatre to be at the heart of it. So it was a no-brainer, really. I wanted to be here.
Of course, writing about the bridge is a great way of bringing in that theme. Did it actually come to you as you crossing?
Yes, it did. Yeah. I mean, you know, ideas come when you're not trying to think of ideas. So, I'd been doing a talk actually in the studio with the Bristol Vic Theatre Goers Club, and I was asked would I write another play for Bristol. And at that point, you know, the theatre wasn't open. So I knew I could say yes quite confidently that it would never happen. And things turned around ever so quickly. But later that morning, as I was walking home, it started to take shape. So I knew that if I ever was asked to write that play, what it would be.
Yeah. And was there any particular sort of experiences of Bristol or things that have happened to you that you drew on in a big way?
Not really things that have happened to me, no. I mean, I tend not to use my own life ever in plays. I mean, there's obviously the fact that there's a single parent in this, and which did happen to me. But it's not me. And, you know, I do feel that it's not fair on anybody who knows me for me to ever start picking away at their experiences. Though having said that, having written The Spanish Waiter in here, I discovered that somebody I know has got a very personal thing about Spanish waiters. She's rolling her eyes at me now. No, I mean, you know, the actual approach to writing is sort of a bit more mechanical than that, really. It was like, I thought, as I was walking through the bridge, I was remembering the Fathers for Justice protest, and I immediately thought, I don't want to write about the Fathers for Justice protest. I don't want to write about a real thing. But what if there are two blokes up on the bridge? Why are they up there? And then the next bit was, well, what if this guy's looking, you know, it's his daughter's wedding. Oh, and he can see the Avon Gorge from where he is. So he's come there. So it's almost immediately the characters are giving me the story and not my own experiences.
So it comes to you and then ideas just take over and they will build off.
Yep. Yeah, and then the next stage is to sort of sit down and give the characters names and start giving them backstories, so that when I go into rehearsals, if an actor asks me a question, I should be able to answer it. If they want to know something about their character, I should know that.
Yeah. When I came in, I sat next to someone from Fathers for Justice, and he was incredibly complimentary about how you'd managed, and this is his words, not that he just said, it's bizarre that as a woman you were able to convey, you know, the emotion of being a single father so well, and the dialogue was incredibly accurate, and the kind of issues that were involved were, you know, amazing, the way that you were able to portray it.
Well, that's because I channel the characters, I suppose, and, you know, I do try not to, I mean, if it was something kind of really technical, I guess I'd have to talk to people about it. I'd have to try and find out. I once wrote a play about, not prison officers, but you know, nurses in a psychiatric secure, and I had to go to Broadmoor because I had to speak to people because I didn't know how it worked. But for this, it was kind of just thinking, well, what does it feel like not to see your son or your daughter? How would that feel? And then just, you know, knowing the city, knowing people, knowing that kind of character until the character becomes Jerry and is nobody else and is uniquely himself.